Well, now to another part of South Australia that's been in the headlines. Renmark today hosted the first public consultation on the cutbacks of water allocations to the River Murray. Interstate, these meetings have involved very heated discussions. In fact, people have even been burning copies of the plans. Well, Simon Royal has been in the Riverland to find out what the reaction was like there today.
We're back here in Renmark because this town, which is at the heart of Australia's oldest irrigation area, has had perhaps the most important meeting in its 100-year history, the first of the consultative meetings with the Murray-Darling Basin Authority. People started arriving early this morning in tractors. You can probably hear them leaving right now. There were so many people here that the meeting had to be broken into two parts. And one of the people they came to hear is with us now, Rob Freeman, who is CEO of the Murray-Darling Basin Authority. Rob, it seems you got a better reception here than you did in Victoria. Why?
Look, I think people express their opinions in different ways. I think the people of South Australia generally know the dire strait that the Murray's in. They've seen the lower lakes implode. I guess are more aware of some of the impacts of over-allocating water.
So the Victorians and others are living in a dream world?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think there is an issue of literacy. I think the people at the bottom of the basin understand the bottom well, and the bottom of the basin often reflects the environmental health of the system. I think there is an opportunity for South Australians to learn about the Northern Basin, and we often hear things about Cubby Station and the Northern Basin, which aren't quite accurate either.
So they're not as bad as we might believe?
I think there is an issue here that people generally understand their patch well. The bottom of the basin, you understand the system as a whole better than most. But some of the issues, water released in northern Queensland will not have a significant impact as the Darling's a very leaky system.
What is actually up for negotiation in your plan?
Everything in the guide is up for negotiation within the parameters of the Water Act. So there are 15 items within the basin plan. The high profile of one of those are the sustainable diversion limits.
Are they up for negotiation? You've got a limit there of, say, 3,000 to 4,000 gigalitres. Come hell or high water, is that the amount that's going to go back?
Based on the current infrastructure in the basin, we believe that the lowest level that we consider appropriate to deliver the environmental water requirements is 3,000.
Is that what will go back? At the end of this process, is that what's going back? No negotiation?
There are opportunities for people to submit science, and I think it's really important. Whilst we've got the best available science, we believe if there's better science, that number can move.
Can go down.
That's correct, and there is the opportunity through governments investing in engineering works to actually support environmental water to decrease that number as well.
But at the end of it, is it clear equally that people will be giving up water?
We can't sugarcoat this. We do need to return water that's currently being used for irrigation and other human consumption purposes to the environment.
So if that figure of 3,000 to 4,000 can go down and you can still get a good environmental outcome, why then didn't you look at that in this initial process? Why put people through this grief?
Yes, the things that can make that number come down are outside the control of the authority, and that's why we thought it was really important to have an extra consultation step so that state and federal governments can bring forward some of those proposals which will allow us then to look at new numbers.
Well, you're talking about things like getting submissions on efficiency. You know, efficiency is a key to what an area can and cannot give up and the way it impacts upon people. Why wasn't that part of that initial process?
The efficiency argument, I think it's fair to say most communities believe they're highly efficient. However, we're prepared to look at whether there's a disproportionate impact on communities because of efficiency. But at this stage, we've applied an equal percentage right through the Murray system from South Australia through Victoria and New South Wales.
Is it also a matter if one area has a big win, that it has less of a cut, that will have to come out somewhere else?
That's correct. To the extent that ultimately there is a number, which is the amount of water we need to return to the environment, that water has to be found somewhere. If it's found in inefficient parts of the system, that number tends to be higher. So there is no doubt that water not met in one region has to be found in another.
Do you accept that the Commission, or the authority rather, has caused part of its own problems? You got the figures wrong, if I can put it that way, over what the job impact might be. You've made people angry through that. Have you made a rod for your own back?
No, look, I think we're being absolutely transparent. The best available report on the basin-wide impact on jobs is 800 within the basin, but 3,000 across Australia. That's what we're required to do under the Act. There is no doubt, though, that will have a bigger regional impact and we're keen to explore that. But under the Act, we're actually to look at the basin-wide impact on jobs. I think it's fair to say that that number may not be correct, but it's the best available number, and that's what the authority is required to do.
Rob Freeman, the tractors are back. I think perhaps for you, we should let you go. Thanks very much for joining us on State Line.
Thank you, Simon.